a man make mistakes? Is he eligible for redemption? Will it really hurt your spirit to make this one exception? If I did you wrong, am I wrong for doing you wrong? If we get back on and make a promise to get along, would you take me back? My bad, I'm back. Would you take me back? My bad, I'm back.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy, the Big D, back in this thing. Took a little break there. Had content scheduled out through much of March, but I took a little break there. I was sick, kind of at the end of February for a couple of weeks. Just wasn't right, so had to get back right. The kids finally got back to school and everything, so they came down for a couple of weeks and was hanging out, and so I took a little time to get right. But we good. We in this thing. We back checking out our stories. We checking out the divorce Reddits and some other sources of information about divorce, because we want to have conversation about the topic of divorce and make sure that as men who are single and maybe looking to get married, we have our eyes open, right? Or somebody who's already actually in a marriage or whatever, and maybe it ain't working out the way that it should work out. Sometimes you got to get some other eyes on situations and relate to other situations and know that you're not in this alone. So that's a big problem, is just feeling like it's only happening to you, when in actuality it's probably not. So let's jump in here. Let's look at some situations and kind of get some commentary, see what it is that we come up with, see if we get anything that's gonna, spark some interest here. So let's see here. So this first one we got here, let's get on the right screen here. It says, how did you finally move on? So this is a real good question, right? So he says, I've been separated from my wife for coming up on a year. I have tried Tinder and all those dating apps. I even went on quite a few dates with different women, and I just don't seem to click with any of them. That, and I don't find any of them as attractive as my soon-to-be ex-wife. I guess as the saying goes, the hotter they are, the crazier they are, does really ring true. Because she still is the most beautiful person I've ever seen. I don't know if that's just my jaded memory or what. I get that I was a 1 and married a 10. Okay, I see. Okay, I understand that everyone is different, so there will be one like her, just like there will be no one like me. There will be no one like her, just like there will be no one like me. Everybody's a 101, right? So I just can't find someone as attractive as her. Wow, that's a big statement right there. If I could find someone I click with that looks, then looks wouldn't obviously matter. He says, it's just even with the constant swiping, I haven't seen anyone who could compete with how drop dead gorgeous my soon-to-be ex-wife is. I hope it's just because I still care and not something else. So he's married to her. Probably for a while. Doesn't really say how long they was married or whatever like that, but he's feeling like, after this separation, he's not able to find somebody that's good for him, or that looks like what he wants this person to look like. Now, it sounds like his ex-wife supposedly is a beautiful lady here. That's what he's saying. In his eyes, she's the most beautiful woman on earth. That's really kind of the way that it's supposed to be when you get married, right? That's what you're looking for. You want, as a man, we're very visual. We're very physical. We're very visual. We want to be attracted to the woman that we're next to, right? And the woman that we're going to spend our time with, the woman we're going to invest with, we want to be attracted to her. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a physical thing for men. Our heart may not get into it until a little bit later, but we definitely want to be physically attracted to her. So whatever that is for you per se, it's different for every man. Whatever it is for you works for you. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that he really's got to kind of get out into the fray of things a little bit. maybe travel a little bit, and then he's gonna find out that there's some beautiful, beautiful women out here. So I don't know where he's at. He doesn't really give us a lot about his age or anything like that. Um, that could definitely be a part of it, just the age. If he's an older cat, maybe 40s to 50s or whatever, is going to be a little bit different, right? You're looking for an older woman. Maybe she's already had kids. Maybe she's already had a relationship, all of that kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden, she's out here single again, maybe two or something. So you're going to run across women like that. You're really going to run across a woman who's never been married. I think if she gets to like the 40 or 50 point and she ain't never been married, then I would be really skeptical of her actually being married, or marrying her. So I'd be really skeptical. I don't think she would want to be married at that point in time. We become more independent as we grow, and and the more independent we get, and the more set in our ways we get, you're not trying to tolerate a lot of nonsense with another person, right? So we just trying to live our life and do our thing, and we ain't trying to be impeded at all in our peace, right? We live for our peace. So I can definitely attest to that. My peace needs to be a certain way, right? So he's saying that, she's the most beautiful person that he's ever seen. Some of this might be him going back, really, maybe he's not detached from the relationship. He's not really explaining. He said he's been separated from his wife, but he don't explain how it happened. Was it her decision or was it his? Sounds like it probably was her decision. And so she's kind of moved on doing her thing or whatever. And he's here kind of pining for her because it's a lot of hard work to find somebody new, right? And nobody new is going to look like, maybe what you're used to, right? So there's always going to be some defect or whatever. Might be her feet. Might be her lips, might be her hair, might be, the wrinkles under her eyes or the bags under her eyes or something. Who knows? It could be a lot of things or whatever. But you're not going to really get the essence of a person by going through Tinder or whatever. He's saying like he's doing Tinder and some of the apps and stuff like that. I don't know where he lives at. Maybe it's not so easy to get out and find somebody if it's kind of a rural place or maybe a small town or something like that. It might be a little bit difficult. Because you kind of know everybody already, and maybe the pickings are slim, or this one was married to that one, and this one was dating that one, or whatever. You don't want to step on toes, right? So you might not actually, have anybody right in your area. So maybe you're going through Tinder or whatever, or you could be in a big city and he just doesn't feel comfortable getting out. I'm an introverted person. It may not seem like it when I'm online or whatever, but I force myself to do it. I've learned how to be, put myself out there a little bit, but it takes effort. So sounds like he really needs to get off the apps, maybe get out there or whatever, just start to have fun, and worst come to worst, come to Brazil. So especially if you're an older cat, right? So my friend and I was just talking about this the other day. We was talking about, the older cats that come here or whatever. I think they got a nice opportunity because there's lots of single women that may be a little bit older, and they keep themselves up, they're in shape and all that, and they be beautiful too. So I don't know if, that's his thing or whatever, but maybe he could try that. But travel around, go other places, use your freedom as a single man or a soon-to-be divorced man. Use your freedom to kind of see some other places. I think that's what I would advise him to do. So he says, let's continue here. He says, I haven't seen my soon-to-be ex-wife since Christmas. I stopped trying to keep up with her and make sure everything was doing okay the following month. And then we stopped talking in general the next month. Okay, so he was trying to keep up with her up till around Christmas or whatever. And now he's like, after about a month after that, he stopped keeping up with her. He says, I don't even talk to her about our child. I just drop him off in a neutral spot. And she comes and picks her up a few hours later. And then she does the same when it's my week with our son. I know things are over and we could, and we'll never get back together. Maybe we can't get back together. I don't understand what he's saying there. So, but he's saying that he knows things are over. So when you know it's over, sometimes you got to let go, right? You got to kind of be willing to say, okay, you know what, that chapter is closed. Close the book, right? Close the book. Just let it go, right? So, no use pining for something that's not going to be for you anymore. maybe, the one thing I think about is the universe. One thing I've learned about the universe is when you try to do things against the will of the universe, and the universe is pushing you to go one direction, and you fight against that, nothing's going to go right in your life. Right? That's kind of how I ended up here in Brazil or whatever. Every time I left Brazil and went back to the US, it was just problems. It's just always, it was like this struggle. And I handled it, you handle it, you live or whatever like that, but I wasn't happy. But then every time I was coming this way, to Brazil, it seemed like things just fall into place. Everything just falls into place nicely the way that it's supposed to fall in place. Not everything happened the way I wanted. I came here to get married and she didn't show up, so I didn't. But I mean, I was in the place I wanted to be before I met her. So it was cool. It was just a very cool experience coming this way as opposed to going back the other. So sometimes the universe is pushing you in a direction, and if you don't kind of go in the direction that the universe is telling you to go in, it's going to grab you by the throat and pull you in that direction. It's going to be like, look, come here, come with me. It's going to be good over here. And you're like, no, but it's great. It was great over here. And I'm looking for, maybe I can go back to what I was. It's like, no, you're not going to grow that way. I believe in spiritual things. I believe that we're spirits before we come here, and we are given a mission when we get here. So I believe that, we have to fulfill that mission. And we try to fight against it sometimes, and maybe part of our mission is to go on this other journey. So I think he needs to kind of get into that other journey. So he asked some questions at the end here. I'm gonna skip down to the end. He says, why can't I find someone? Is it just not the right time? Are my standards too high even though I have none? I think he definitely has some, because he's saying that nobody looks like his ex-wife, so you definitely have standards. Do I just not deserve to try again? So we got to bring the self-esteem up a little bit right there. Everybody deserves somebody. Everybody deserves to be happy and have the things that they want, right? So it's not that you don't deserve it, but I understand, because where he's coming from in the situation he's in right now. He's losing the love of his life, really, I guess. I'm tired of being lonely. Therapy hasn't helped me not be so lonely and yearning for someone to spend time with. I just want a hug. All right, so yeah, sometimes we need that. I know we men or whatever like that, we're non-emotional in a certain way. We take a lot, man. We're used to putting the whole world on our back or whatever, and dragging it up the hill. That's what we used to doing, and we can't cry about it. We can't hardly even really talk about it unless we have a really good friend or whatever. A lot of things that we go through and struggle with, there's nobody there to talk to about it, so we just go through it and we just handle it. But sometimes we need that encouragement or whatever. That's kind of what the Big D channel is here to do. Give you some encouragement or whatever. Say, nah, man, you deserve to have somebody. You deserve to feel the way that you feel. Coming from a standpoint of like, don't feel bad that you don't feel 100% every day. Don't feel bad that you might feel like you're not deserving. Don't feel bad, because that's just your body going through the emotions. That's just your mind telling you things, and you trying to figure it out, and you just don't have the answer yet. So you shouldn't feel bad about the way you feel. We don't want to make you feel bad about that. We're just saying, be patient. Sometimes it's better to work on yourself. Look at the relationship that you was in. Where did I make mistakes at? What things can I improve on within myself? What things can I do that make me happy? Maybe I should become more of a reader, take in more information. Maybe I should pursue my hobbies. Maybe I should pursue my desire to get more educated. Maybe I should pursue my desire to get more schooling or something. We got to find some sort of way, right? Some sort of way to kind of like bring ourselves and get ourselves into a place where we're happy with ourselves. I think that's kind of where I got to, was like, it helped me not dating so much in the first few years or whatever, after, separation, divorce or whatever. I think first 4 years I had my kids anyway, just as a single father. So I was more concentrated on working and all that stuff. I just had a lot going on. I wanted to date different women, whatever. It just never seemed to work out, or just never seemed to come together. But that was a lot of the universe probably preventing me from, making a commitment that was going to keep me from the other path that I had and the other journey I was supposed to go on, which led me to be here in Rio. Right. So, I think something was holding me back from dating at that point in time, because I had a bigger future in front of me. I had something greater in front of me. Now I get to sit in front of you guys. Why? Because I'm here and I have the time to do that. Whereas in the US, I probably wouldn't have to do it. So yeah, man, I would say, like, if you're just feeling like that, if you're feeling like, hey, it ain't working out or whatever, I don't think she loves me, I don't think it's, gonna work out for me ever or whatever, don't worry about that. It's gonna work out. So sometimes you need that time, and sometimes the lightning strikes when you're not expecting the lightning to strike. So that's important. That's an important thing. We ain't gonna beat that too much more. We're gonna jump over here and look at this other one here. Out of the Divorced Men Reddit says, how do you guys handle the financials during a divorce? So this is real important, right? When I got divorced, we didn't have a whole lot of assets and things like that. We were renting at the point, so it wasn't like we had a house and all that kind of stuff or whatever. My ex-wife, I have to say that she wasn't pushing for a whole lot. I wasn't pushing for a whole lot or whatever. The biggest thing I think we did was a child support arrangement, which, she left and she wanted the situation to be the way it was. Her lawyer told me the judge is going to put her on child support. I fought it, but he's like, there's no point in fighting it. The judge is going to make her do it anyway, so we need to just get it done. So we got that done. But outside of that, we didn't have a whole lot. But some people have a lot of assets, and I think it's important for you to understand that. I think guys going into marriage should understand, about the asset arrangement or whatever, should ask questions. I think the number one thing is get with somebody who can tell you, a divorce attorney or whatever like that. Find out, just sit down with them and talk with them. What things should I be aware of? Because you don't want to go in blind. Right? I think I went in blind, just because of my background. I think I talked about that in my first couple videos or whatever. I'm telling my story. My background is like, divorce is never supposed to happen, right? From a religious standpoint or whatever. And that was unrealistic because it happens all the time. Even in the religion, it happens all the time. So you can't go in saying, well, this is never going to happen, so you don't need to know all this other stuff, right? No, you need to get some advice or whatever, or talk to your friends or whatever who may have been married, or older guys or whatever. Talk to them, see what they've gone through. Check out this channel, find out what people go through. Like there's channels on here where people have put, credit cards, XY put credit card in the guy's name or whatever, credit cards or whatever, spent up a bunch of money. And it's like, oh, am I going to be stuck with this or what? So there's going to be things on this channel that's going to help you with that. But let's see what this guy says here. He says, I just sat down and looked at my budget. I have no idea how I'm supposed to make ends meet. The ex kidnapped our kids last July, filed against me, tried to ruin my career, made tons of false accusations. I petitioned back, got sole custody in a temporary order last September. We have the final custody hearing in May. We bought our house 2 years ago, knowing that we needed both of our incomes to afford this house. I'm now stuck paying for it all on my own. I'm paying the entire mortgage, home insurance, HOA, all utilities, been paying her car insurance until recently, and still paying off her new current phone bill. I'm also paying $2,000 a month in childcare. So yeah, he's in deep, right? Is deep, especially when you're paying the bills of somebody who's not even around anymore, or who's talking crazy to you, doing all types of things to you. Like, look what she did. She kidnapped the kids. She done took the kids away from them last July. So, man, that's months, that she's taking his kids away. She filed for the divorce, said she tried to ruin his career or whatever. So this thing could get sticky. It can get messy. So, when you have assets and you have money and financials all tied up together and wrapped up together, the problem. So I'm looking at it like, I feel like the next go around for me, if I ever get married again, could possibly happen is separate finances. Separate finances and joint finances, right? So you have your finances maybe from things that you had when you came into the marriage or whatever. I think the agreement should be that you come in with what you have, and you leave with what you had when you came in, right? I think that's the agreement that you want to really try to make. Anything that's made jointly during the marriage, you understand that this is kind of like community property. We decided to put these all in this box or whatever, but I'm going to contribute this amount. You're going to contribute this amount. Everybody should stay in that lane or whatever. This is what I'll be comfortable with supporting you. Say if it fell apart, then this is what I'll be comfortable in doing for you. And you should kind of come to that, have that conversation a little. Not everybody's going to want to, have that conversation. She may not want to have that conversation, right? Or he may not want to have that conversation. Depends on who holds the money power, right? Power of the purse, right? Who's got that? So I just feel like it kind of should be laid out in the beginning. You should at least have some conversation about it. And then you won't feel bad when you get to the end, like this guy here has gotten to kind of to the end. And now it's like, okay, there's a house involved. Lots of expenses come with a house. Lots of payments come with the house, right? You got your HOA, you got the payment itself, the insurance on the house and all that stuff, and the maintenance and repair and all that stuff. It's like, who takes care of all of that? If two people were required to do it and now all of a sudden she's not participating, can you afford it on your own? So that might be a decision you might want to make when you're buying the house. Okay, yeah, she's wanting to stretch a little bit because, she wants the nice house and all that, but is it really going to be within your budget if things go left and she's not helping you, or one of you gets unemployed or something? Is it going to really be beneficial to you to have to pay this all on your own? Are you going to be able to really kind of handle that? So that's something that we got to consider, but like he's really just going through it. He's paying $2,000 a month in childcare. So it looks like he's probably doing all right financially, but having the extra expenses is probably hurting him. So he's looking at his budget, which is good because he's actually sitting down and got it written down or in a spreadsheet or something to see this is the money that's coming in, this is the money that's going out. So he's doing the right thing with that. But the stress of missing the kids and the things that she's doing, that he's got to combat, go to war with her on that stuff, but then he's got to figure out how to pay the bills too. So he says, I'm going to get stuck somehow. This should be criminal. I hear you. Paying her close to $1,000 a month in spousal support. Plus, if she gets anywhere near 50-50 custody, I'll end up paying a lot of child support. She quit her job and picked up 2 lower paying jobs to claim this whole I'm poor, I'm so poor I need help narrative, even though her mom is a multimillionaire paying for everything for her. Oh, that's a different revelation right there, right? The numbers are already so tight. I have to stop contributing to my kids' college funds. I have to stop all saving retirement saving. Even with the bare essentials and paying this idiot all this money. He said it, not me. So he said it. I'm just reading what he said. I'm in the negatives. Add on my lawyer fees, and I'm even more in the negatives. How in the world are we supposed to survive? We definitely feel him on that. I can't say I've been through it, but I definitely feel him on that. I've seen situations and known of situations where it's not gone well for the guy financially or whatever. This happens to a lot of dudes, right? $1,000 a month in spousal support, that's going to happen. You kind of are signing up for that. That's kind of information that you should get before you get married, right? Understand what you're signing up for, because if she bounces out of the marriage, like he said, she quit her job and now she's like, oh, I'm poor, because she's trying to stick it to you a little bit. That's one of the things that's going to come with it. Outside of the child support, I know we talk about child support, but spousal support might come too. So now there's talk about, I think Trump talking about taking away spousal support, I don't know, like alimony and stuff like that. Like, we'll see if that even happens. They don't seem like they can get their stuff together right now, the things they got going on right now. But we'll see if that actually comes about or if it'll be forgotten about. But I think there should be maybe some more rules around it. I don't think that you should be able to just leave her high and dry if you were taking care of her and she wasn't working and all that stuff. But if she was working, I guess the situation's changed. Now you done took the kids and ran away or whatever, and now you're like, oh, I got to stay with the kids or whatever. But he's paying daycare, right? He said he was paying like $2,000. Yeah, he's paying $2,000 a month in childcare, so she should be working. Unless something's physically wrong with her, health wrong with her, something like that. She should be working, man. I don't know. I'm like, it looked like she's like trying to stick it to him a certain way. Gotta find out. He ain't really talk about what he did to her or whatever, or what she, she talked about what she did, but he ain't talk about his side of it. So on the Big D channel, we kind of be, we can look at one side, but we gotta look at all the sides so we get all the information, right? We're not involved, so we need to know both sides, right? So that we can kind of make a better assessment. We can't really make an assessment right here what he did. Maybe he cheated, maybe he had a little something on the side or something, and it caused her to go off the deep end. We don't know that because we ain't get to read that part of it, right? But we know what the aftermath is, and so we trying to get to the bottom of that. So, man, listen, sometimes it's rough out here. My biggest advice, I would say, maybe you guys can put something in the comments, tell me what you think. My thing is, find out in the beginning what you might go through. Talk to somebody, your pastor, talk to a trusted friend, trusted advisor. You should, as a man, I think, if you're getting to the point where you think you're going to get married and all that, you should have a trusted advisor, a trusted friend that you can talk to that you know is not going to sugarcoat things, not going to just tell you what you need to hear because they're your friend, but that's going to give you some life experience. Talk about life experience. That's going to talk about, what you might go through. I think every man should have that. A good friend that they can be candid and talk about everything with. And once you have that, I think that you'll be good, So, it's hard to get caught up in these situations, and I get it. It's a rough spot to be in, but my whole hope is that you can navigate it and maybe avoid some of it, minimize it in the beginning, and then, but if you're already in it, it's going to be hard, right? It's already going to be hard for you to kind of do that once you already kind of jumped in it and got into it. I got in it. I was lucky to be able to get out. But the Big D is no joke, man. It's the Big D. All right, I'm going to stop here because we'll be going on a little bit long. I didn't expect these two to go long. I had another one, but I'm going to do another video after this one just so that we have some content. I don't want to bore you guys too long. I don't like to keep it more than 25, 30 minutes anyway. So I don't want you to stay on here too long. So maybe we get some interviews and stuff going on here, then we'll do that. But once again, it's your boy, it's the Big D. I hope that you all have a wonderful day today. If you're getting divorced, keep your head up, pick your head up, and fight through it. Check out the channel, subscribe, like the videos if you think you're getting something good out of it, and we'll holler at you soon. Peace.
Can a man make mistakes? Is he eligible for redemption? Will it really hurt your spirit to make this one exception? If I did you wrong, am I wrong for doing you wrong? If we get back on and make a promise to get along, would you take me back? My bad, I'm back. Would you take me back? My bad, I'm back.